Welcome back to the Rugby Social. I have just finished watching the Wales versus Italy game, and I thought I'd share with you my hot takes of that match. Obviously, excited for this match. It was the wooden spoon match-up, and I thought we'd be in for a bit of a classic match. You know, the roof was shut of the Principality. Wales had bought their main centre pairing back of Tompkins and North, and I thought, hey, this is going to be game on. But actually, from a Welsh perspective, it really wasn't in the first half. All of the pressure, all of the skill, all of the go forward came from Italy in that first half. They pretty much outplayed Wales in every department, set piece, everywhere. And, and they deservedly went in 11-0 up at half time. They scored a couple of penalties through Garbisi. Ball stayed on the tee both times, which is nice to see. And they also scored a lovely try from Ioane. There was, just some lovely hands in the lead up to that play. They were cutting some lovely lines, and they just looked good, and it was good to see. So that was the first half, and then you're thinking, what's Warren Gatland going to say to Wales at half times? How is he going to kind of get them energized? How is he going to get them going in that second half? And I'd love to know whether you thought Wales were going to come back in that second half. Did you see them just turning things around and springing back, or did you see Italy going on and winning that game? I mean, please do let me know what you think in the comments. And whilst you're there, feel free to like and subscribe. I love talking about rugby, love watching rugby. Hope you do too. So yeah, if happy to support the channel, that would be fantastic. So yeah, second half came around, and Wales were facing into their worst performance in a Six Nations campaign since 2003. And at the start of the second half, they looked a little bit better. They looked to get a little bit of go forward. They looked to sort of at least string some phases together. And there were bits of penetration there, but they weren't really going anywhere. Quite often they just result to kicking it away or trying cross-field kicks that didn't really work. And whilst they were looking better, they kept killing themselves or destroying their own momentum through silly things, like a neck roller, a ruck, or handling errors, knocking the ball on. And there really just didn't seem to be any actual momentum with Wales. Whilst they had the ball a bit more in the second half or the early parts of the second half, they weren't really going anywhere with it. And then again, Italy struck through Pani this time. Beautiful try. Again, lovely hands, lovely team try, cutting some wonderful lines. And his run to actually score that try was pretty decent. It looked really classy, and you could see a few Welsh defenders hitting the ground behind him in his wake. And at that point, Italy was sort of stretching out to a really decent lead. And again, Wales tried to come back into the match. There was a moment through Williams where he really looked like he was going to score a try. Vincent Ross, great tackle back, great scramble defence, took him out just before the line. And then I think it was also Vincent Ross who then won the turnover. So again, every time Wales looked like they had some momentum, it was taken away from them. Eventually, they did manage to get a try. Elliot D went over, slightly controversially. I think it looked like the tackle had been completed, but then I think he might have been lifted up by his own team. So he got over the line, that was given, and you thought, oh, is this the moment where Wales are going to come back into it? And unfortunately, it wasn't. Again, error upon error, just couldn't really get any sustained pressure. And then Italy started to go away from them. There was a couple of kicks or penalty kicks just within the Welsh half. One banged over by Garbisi, the other one banged over by Padrello, who I was quite surprised didn't start, actually. I thought he would start ahead of Varney, but Varney had a pretty decent game. And all of a sudden, Italy have gone away. They're 24-7 up, and it's pretty much game over. Yes, Wales did come back. They got a couple of consolation tries at the end. I think it was Rowlands got one, and I can't remember who got the other one, actually. Mason Grady, I think it was. But it was all too little too late. The game was definitely done and dusted by then. Very much a deserved win by Italy as far as I'm concerned. I thought their midfield pairing of Brex and Manicello, again, were absolutely awesome. Not just defensively. Their rush defense or blitz defense was great, but just ball in hands and just going through players, making those extra couple of yards, through contact just makes such a big difference. So yeah, very much Wales beaten. They look beaten pretty much from a few minutes into the first half, to be perfectly honest. And I thought what was really interesting for me is the almost the lack of celebration by the Italian players once they won. It was almost like they'd expected to win that, and they didn't look too fast. Whereas if you remember back to 2 years ago when they won in Wales, they were absolutely ecstatic. Players were in tears. So yeah, so very much deserved by Italy. And you kind of got to reflect on the campaigns for either side. I mean, Gonzalo Casada, who came in, his first matches were at the start of the Six Nations. He's been a revelation. I mean, he just seems to have turned around pretty much the same Italian team that had that dreadful World Cup. They look like a real team, a decent team, a team that can contend with other teams. Their confidence is growing post that draw with Italy. Sorry, draw with France. So yeah, so well done him. Italy must be ecstatic they managed to get him on board. But from Warren Gatland's perspective, what a dreary campaign. I think that's obviously his worst campaign in the Six Nations. Wales have got their problems. We know that they have got very inexperienced team. They got lots of youngsters. They can't play all the players they want to play because they're in different countries. But everything about them looks lackluster. Their defense looks shaky. They're bereft of ideas going forward. There's a lack of leadership, lack of communication. And, really, really, I guess they, I don't like to say deserved the wooden spoon, but yeah, there wasn't much coming from Wales in this campaign. So they collect the wooden spoon. And to be fair, things don't get any brighter for them because I think their next match is against South Africa, the world champions. So I guess on the whole, I did enjoy the match. It wasn't the spectacle I was hoping for, but it was really great to see Italy just play in such a confident and competent manner. So thanks for watching. If you do want to like or subscribe, that would be wonderful. Love to hear what you think about the game. Please let me know your thoughts on Wales, your thoughts on Italy. Thanks for joining and see you on the next one.